Hello friends, welcome to EduTap. So finally the most awaited video related to books for RBI Grade B is here. I bought a lot of books for you guys here, see please, right? So I'm going to share my experience of 5 years in mentoring and guiding students for RBI Grade B. This video might be little long, but I would assure you that each and every minute of this video is going to help you to prepare better for RBI Grade B. Before we start, I would request you to join our YouTube channel, subscribe our YouTube channel, or you can join our Telegram channel. The link for the Telegram channel is given in the description of this video. We are also conducting scholarship admission test on 19th and 20th of June. In case you want to win scholarships up to 30%, you can attempt this scholarship admission test. You can go to our website or download our app to attempt this scholarship admission test. Now, books. When we talk about books for RBI Grade B, I find that the term is misnomer in itself. I mean, the books, when we used to prepare for plus one and plus two, I prepared for engineering. A lot of you would have prepared. And you would be nostalgic after seeing these books. Concept of Physics by H.C. Verma, Mathematics by R.S. Agarwal, ये standard books हैं. ठीक है, इन बुक्स को पढ़ के वी आर श्योर दैट वी आर एबल टू कवर द होल सिलेबस दैट इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर दैट एग्जाम विच वी आर गोइंग टू अटेम्प्ट. कोई भी कॉमन एंट्रेंस टेस्ट होगा इंजीनियरिंग के लिए. एवरीबॉडी यूज दिस बुक्स एंड दीज हेल्प्स यू टू कवर द सिलेबस. हाउ दीज बुक्स ensure that you are able to cover the syllabus? Mostly because the exam that you attempt after plus one and plus two is of static nature. These kind of books will help you cover the syllabus completely. You need not worry कि कुछ रह गया है, कुछ और करना है. ठीक है. But is that the case with RBI Grade B? The answer is no. So I repeat, I think the word books is not the right word to use here. Rather, we should use the word resources. Right? In resources, yes, books can be one of the area, but then newspapers also play a very important role. Internet, some websites, some magazines. So these are some of the type of resources that I am going to discuss in this video, and I'm also going to put emphasis on how to read them, as in what is important in them, what is to leave in them, so that you get a good guidance as in how to use a particular resource. ठीक है, तो सबसे पहले we will start discussing about books for phase 1, but I want to tell two things first. First, people who are already enrolled into our courses, they need not study all these books, except wherever I tell you about reading editorials from newspaper or reading some magazines, that you can do. But apart from that, you need not read any book. Why I'm saying so? Because we will keep getting emails and calls after this that I'm enrolled into course. Which books should I read? So you need not read any book except editorials and magazines. Then next is that whatever book I'm going to tell you, please look for the recent editions of this book, because a lot of questions in the exam are data based. So you should have recent editions, and even in those recent editions, please always check for factual data, because even if you have a recent edition which is say published in April, by December that data might become old. So please always check for that factual data. That is very, very important. Now, what are the books for phase 1? So phase 1 में सबसे पहले I will talk about quantitative aptitude. Now you see the level of exam, the level of quant in RBI Grade B that is being asked is totally different, and it's not an aberration. Each and every year they are asking difficult questions. I think the best book for quant is Quantitative Aptitude by Arun Sharma. This book is basically for CAT aspirants, but it will help you even for RBI. The drawback of this book is that it will help you to understand the concepts in a very good manner, but then you will not get those type of questions. By type of questions, I mean as in there can be arithmetic DI in RBI Grade B exam. That would not be given here. Right? So read this book, attempt all the questions. They are of very good quality. It will help you, it will help you to become good in your concepts. But then also see the previous year questions, or also attempt the mock test to see that how to apply that knowledge within the type of questions that are being asked. Next is for reasoning. For reasoning, the good book is Verbal and Non-Verbal Reasoning by R.S. Agarwal. There are books by the name Only Verbal Reasoning and Only Non-Verbal Reasoning, but take this book which is combined for verbal and non-verbal reasoning by R.S. Agarwal. It's a very good book. All the topics are detailed out very well. The drawback of using this book is that this book is for all the exams: SSC, banking, UPSC, CSAT, RBI. It is for all the exams. So you have to very carefully select the topics. For example, in this book, there will even be topics like clocks and calendars, which are mainly for SSC. They will not be asking RBI grade B. So please refer previous year papers and then only select the relevant topics. And in case you are wondering about from where to get previous year papers, you can register on our website, and when you register, there will be a free course in which all the previous year papers of phase 1 and phase 2 from 2017 till 2021 along with analysis are given. So you can go to our website, register there. So that is about verbal and non-verbal reasoning. Then English. I really doubt how can you prepare for English. I myself has never been able to prepare for English from any particular book, right? Because English is something that you are able to learn as and when you grow up. At this stage of life, it's not easy to learn English, but I think the only way you can learn English is to read and speak. Read some quality thing and your English will improve. So I have put a question mark. I am not clear. I am not going to suggest you any book because I personally feel that no book can help you. It's better to watch some videos over YouTube in case you are doing self preparation to learn what are the fundas that can help you solve the questions. But for vocabulary, I can definitely suggest you this book, Word Power Made Easy. This is very good book by Norman Lewis. Just read this and you will enjoy. So this is only for people who are really bad in English. They have a very poor vocabulary. They can use it. But otherwise, if you have a decent vocabulary, you need not read any book for vocabulary because this exam is not based on vocab. So that was about QRE. Then GA. For static portion, see, there is no particular book in the market that can help you prepare for static GA. Again, what you need to do is two things you can do. First is identify what all type of static GA is being asked. For example, national parks, dams, wildlife sanctuaries, thermal power plants, these kind of questions are asked. So you can search them over internet, that list of national parks in India. You will definitely get a good PDF or a good material that you can refer. Right. So that is one way. Another way, which is a better way, is whenever you read any news. For example, you are reading that there are some protests in Seychelles. Now you have read that news, but try to relate that to static GA in a way that where is Seychelles located, in which ocean it is located, in which continent it is located. Because most of the questions that are asked from the static portion are related to the current news. Right, so that is the best way. Suppose you are reading news about any country, try to gauge that what is the currency of that country, what is the capital of that country. So this way you can prepare for static GA better and in a very smart way. For apart from static GA, the current portion that is asked in GA in your phase 1, that I'll discuss you when I discuss about the current affairs for phase 2, because there needs to be an integrated preparation. There is no need to define separate sources for GA of phase 1 and GA of phase 2. So that was in very brief about phase 1. Now I move to something which is really a Achilles heel for many, that is books for phase 2. Right. So let's first start with books for FM. Right. बहुत सारी बुक्स है FM की, लेकिन उससे पहले हमें ये बहुत क्लियरली पता होना चाहिए that if you see in FM, static and current affairs roughly have a weightage of 75% and 25%. It's very difficult to say it is 70-30, it is 75 or 25, but roughly this is a very rough estimate. So we need to prepare accordingly, right? That is, static portion needs to be done very thoroughly. Current affairs need not be left, but again, first you need to cover the static portion, then you need to cover the current affairs. Moreover, both these kind of preparations for static and for current affairs will help you, or rather you need to do preparation in such a way that you are able to attempt descriptive paper and even objective paper using whatever you have read in static and current affairs. Right? My point is that current affairs, suppose if somebody is reading only from objective perspective, he is using only factual data to learn. But that is a wrong approach now, because these current affairs can even be used in the descriptive part. Right? So that is one thing you need to take care. When you are reading current affairs, maybe try to gauge what is the issue, what are the solutions, what is the way forward, right? Try to read it very comprehensively, especially with respect to some reports or say some policies or regulations. Now, what are the books for management? So under FM, basically we have two subjects if we talk about finance and management. First of all, I'm going to talk about books for management. Management की क्या books हैं? Management is mostly static. That is one thing you need to understand. Apart from corporate governance in management, it's totally static. There is no scope of current affairs there. तो मैनेजमेंट की बुक्स में अगर हम सबसे पहले देखें, there is a book for basically fundamentals of management, right? That is, it will help you learn the management itself. So this is a book by L.M. Prasad, Principles and Practices of Management. And there is another book by T.N. Chabra. Again, the name is same, Principles and Practices of Management. I'm not having this book right now. It is with my colleague. Now, the advantage of using this book is, this is the recent edition also. This is not the recent edition which I have shown here. The advantage of using this book is that it is very, very well written in a very simple language. There are some good MCQs at the end of each chapter. They are, though less in number, but they are very good MCQs, the type of MCQs that are asked in RBI Grade B. The problem with this book is that it is very lengthy. First of all, it contains many irrelevant chapters that are not required for your preparation, though this book contains only the relevant chapters. Most of the chapters need to be read in this book if you are preparing for RBI Grade B. Then the language is also not that easy in this book as compared to this book. So if you have to choose between this and this for principles and practices of management, I would say this book is good over this book, right? Because it is simple to read. There are MCQs also at the end of this chapter, and moreover, it will help you to cover the fundamentals of management from your course, the motivation chapter, the communication chapter, and the leadership chapter. So these 4 chapters can be easily completed from this book, right? Now let's move to OB. So that was first part of management, first part of your management syllabus, that is fundamentals of management plus communication, leadership, and motivation. The second part of your management syllabus is related to OB, in which there are topics like conflict, perception, personality, EI, change, right? All these topics are there as part of OB in your management syllabus. तो उसके लिए 2 बुक्स हैं. फर्स्ट इज अगेन बाय एल.एम. प्रसाद, बट दिस इज ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल बिहेवियर बाय एल.एम. प्रसाद. The good thing about this book is, guys, that it is written by an Indian author. So this is written again in very easy language. It's very structured. I mean, if you go through this book, you can easily see, about every theory. What is that theory? What are the implications of that theory? What are the advantages and criticisms of that theory? So that is written in a very structured way here, right? So that is the good thing about this book. But the bad thing about this book is that this book does not contain examples or case studies that will help you write descriptive answers. On that note, there is another book by Stephen Robinson and Niharika Vora. Please note, Stephen Robinson is a foreign author, right? So he has written a book on organizational behavior, but I'm not saying you to use that book. What I'm saying is, this is a variation of that book which has been written by Indian authors. So the name is Stephen Robinson and Niharika Vora, right? So basically, Niharika Vora has customized the book by Stephen Robinson for Indian customers, for Indian students. So how she has customized? All the examples in this book are from Indian context, from say Ratan Tata, Narayan Murthy, Tata Steels, Yes Bank. All the examples are given here from Indian context. The good thing about this book is that, first of all, obviously, as I told you, all the examples are from Indian context. There are a lot of examples, there are a lot of case studies. Every chapter starts with a case study that helps you stimulate your mind, right? That what you are going to read, why it is important for you to read. The page quality is really good. When you read this book, really, you feel like, you are leading a luxurious life. The page quality is very, very good. You feel like reading it again and again. Is anything bad in this book? The bad thing about this book is that this book is not that structured as this book. Because most of the things written here are in story form. you will understand well, but at the end of the day, when you complete the chapter, if I ask you some descriptive question which is very straightforward, you might not be come up with the points, right? So now which book to use? I would say use this book because questions that are asked in management are very straightforward. This book will help you to write good answers, especially the descriptive ones. But you can complement your study with this book by reading the chapters very quickly. Once you read this book by L.M. Prasad, it would be very easy to cover this book. Just quickly read this book, go through the case studies and examples, and see whatever extra is there in the book. Next is about corporate governance and ethics. So this is a book by B.N. Ghosh on corporate governance and ethics. Okay, type book, so it's not that great a book, right? But it will help you to cover your syllabus in a very good manner. So by good manner, I mean that this book is not very bulky book, so you can read it very quickly. Many things are repetitive. तो ठीक है, मतलब बहुत अच्छी बुक नहीं है, लेकिन शायद हमारा पर्पस ये बुक सॉल्व कर देगी. सो यू कैन रीड दिस बुक, बट यू नीड टू कॉम्प्लीमेंट द रीडिंग ऑफ दिस बुक through internet, because corporate governance and ethics are something that you need to relate it with current affairs. So here, maybe for corporate governance and ethics, the magazines and editorials that I'm going to tell you later will definitely help. But you shall give a reading to this book, right? Most of the chapters in this book are relevant for your syllabus, so only some of the selective chapters you need to leave. So that was basically about management, the static part. ठीक है. करंट में मैनेजमेंट में कुछ नहीं है, एज आई टोल्ड यू, एक्सेप्ट एथिक्स एंड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस, जिनका थोड़ा सा करंट का तड़का हमें जानना है, बट दैट यू कैन इजीली डू थ्रू द सोर्सेज दैट आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू इन फाइनेंस एंड ESI. So let's move to finance, right? Finance बहुत वास्ट सिलेबस है, एंड लाइक मैनेजमेंट देयर इज no book. Unlike management, there is no book for finance which can help you to cover majority of the syllabus. ठीक है, तो sources बहुत scattered हैं, but if you try to read selective reading from all these sources, you can prepare well. So first of all, the two books that I'm going to tell you, right, are from your JAIIB syllabus. That is the exam which is conducted by IIBF, Indian Institute of Banking and Finance. They conduct the exam for JAB. So this is a book for JAB, Principles and Practices of Banking. ये पुराना एडिशन है, 4th है, अभी 5th एडिशन आ गया है, so please take that. But one thing bad about these books is that they sometimes have very old data. Even in the recent editions, they will have old data. So please be careful about that. Now, why this book is good? This book is good because here very to the point things are written, which are directly relevant for your exam. But the same thing leads to a drawback, because when you read only to the point things, sometimes the concepts are not clear. So for that, I would suggest that once you are reading this book, whatever you are not able to understand, you try to read it through Google. You try to understand it through Google. Right. अब इसमें से क्या पढ़ना है? बहुत बड़ी बुक है, सारी नहीं पढ़नी हमें. It is divided into modules, right? When you open this, there would be modules here. आपको मॉड्यूल ए पढ़ना है, पूरा पढ़ लेना है मॉड्यूल ए इसका. द मॉड्यूल ए विल बेसिकली हेल्प यू टू प्रिपेयर फॉर इंडियन फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम, डेट मार्केट्स, मनी मार्केट्स, फॉरेक्स मार्केट्स, फंक्शंस ऑफ RBI, रोल ऑफ SEBI, risk management. All these chapters can be prepared from the module A. Then in the module C of this book, there are some chapters on financial inclusion, self-help groups, or priority sector lending. That also you can read. Apart from that, please do not refer this book for any other chapter. Please have limited reading from module A, which is to be read in full, and module C, from which you have to read chapters on financial inclusion and self-help groups. So that was about Principles and Practices of Banking, CAIB book, this one, right? Please buy the recent edition. Then the next book is Legal and Regulatory Aspects of Banking, this one. Right, this is again a book under JAIIB curriculum, right? This also is an old edition. Now the recent edition has come. You can take that. This book, let me start with saying this book is not much relevant for your exam, except that some banking regulations in the form of RBI Act and Banking Regulation Act are given in module A. तो आपको module A में से वो regulations पढ़ लेनी है, और थोड़े और chapters हैं वो भी आप पढ़ सकते हैं. It is going to add value to your knowledge. Apart from that, you need not read anything from this book. and I would suggest that no, this should be last on your priority list when you are done with everything. कोई बहुत अच्छी बुक नहीं है ये, मतलब relevant नहीं है बुक, तो चलो अच्छी है पर relevant नहीं है आपके एग्जाम के लिए, right? So these are two JIB books, and after that, moving on to Bharti V Pathak. Now, Indian Financial System by Bharti V Pathak. Now, this is something which is a very hyped book. This edition is old. You can buy the recent edition if you want. Very bulky book, just on Indian financial system, which will have maximum weightage of say 5 to 6 marks in your exam. But it's not about 5 to 6 marks. Anyways, we need to read everything. But this book is more about regulations, right? जो भी चीज समझाई है वो बहुत सारे डिटेल में जाके रेगुलेशंस को समझाया है, which is not required for us when we are preparing for RBI Grade B. So I would not suggest you read this book. In case you are reading this book, read it very selectively, very selectively, and at a superficial level. Do not go into the details of regulations. It will just be a pure wastage of time. ठीक है? उसके बाद finance numerical, which is again has almost got extinguished from your exams these days. There is a book by R.P. Rustagi, Dr. R.P. Rustagi, Financial Management by R.P. Rustagi. Very easy language, but again, this book is not much relevant for your exam. In case you want to do numerical part, you can do very selectively topics like income statement and balance sheet, cash flow, cost of capital, or maybe bonds and time value of money. But again, this should be last on your priority list because numericals are not being asked these days. They can be asked, but first priority should be to cover the trend and then go to these fringe topics, right? तो ये हो गया हमारे फाइनेंस स्टैटिक की जो स्टैंडर्ड बुक्स हैं उनका मैंने आपको रिव्यू दिया. Then the best source to cover the finance static is FAQs on RBI website and master circulars. When you read FAQs on RBI website, they are very to the point. They are updated. That is a very big advantage of that, right? And you can cover them quickly. So it would be right, like you read one FAQ and you will be able to read it very quickly, and it will add to your knowledge a lot, right? And there are some master circulars also. If you go to RBI website, there is a on the right hand side. If you click on something, there is a menu of different domains: currency management, financial inclusion. If you click on that, then on the left hand side there would be a tab master circulars. You can read these master circulars related to your syllabus. These are a bit technical, right? But you can always read them selectively, as in what you need to read for the exam, depending upon what has been asked, what kind of questions have been asked in the previous year exams. So FAQs or master circulars, I would say, is a very good source, the best source among all these sources to prepare for the static part. The problem क्या है इसमें? The problem with FAQs and master circulars is that information is scattered over the website. You need to dig deep into the website to find each and everything. So that is a main problem. It becomes really time consuming. But if you can cover the whole website, its length and breadth, you will be able to find really relevant material for your static portion. Next is Investopedia. Investopedia is just for reference. When you read any of these sources, or even any of the paid courses you are reading, you are not able to understand anything, just search on Google and give your preference for Investopedia by typing, say, whatever you're searching plus Investopedia. It will show you something really relevant. The problem with Investopedia is only that it describes everything from US point of view, and sometimes those things are not relevant from Indian point of view, but those cases are very rare. So this is a very good website for reference. I'm sure that once you start referring this website, you are going to enjoy it. Now, next is there are some chapters in your finance syllabus which are basically related to hardcore economy, like monetary policy, fiscal policy, inflation. So for those chapters, we would discuss the sources when we cover the economics part, right? That is the sources for economics. When we discuss about that, those chapters would get automatically covered there. So that was about books for finance static. Now coming on to the current part, what are the sources that I need to cover for finance current portion? The first is notifications on RBI website. See, most of the questions in finance that are asked from current affairs are based upon policy, new policies or new regulations. So notifications are the best source to help you cover for the current affairs. It would be like, you are doing the most relevant thing for the exam if you study the notifications for current affairs, right? They won't help you much in static part, but in the current part only. Apart from that, one newspaper that you can follow is Live Mint. So in Live Mint, obviously you need to read news related to policies and regulations, and sometimes even questions like, mergers, what app has been launched by which bank, etc. So you need to read all the news related to finance in Live Mint. Plus, you should also read the editorials. Very good newspaper, very good editorials. See, when you are going to attempt descriptive paper, you need to have good opinion formation in your mind, right? And that will come if you read a lot, if you discuss a lot. So if even if you are not able to discuss, read a lot, read some quality articles. It will definitely help you to write better. You will remember this day. If you start reading today now, you will remember this day when you will come out of RBI Grade B exam, that you are able to write well only because you read a lot of articles, lot of editorials. Next is that apart from whatever you are reading from Live Mint, right, whatever reports, whatever news, there are some standard reports that needs to be covered from original sources like Economic Survey, Budget, SECC, Census, RBI Annual Report, Report on Trends in the Banking Industry. This is again by RBI. So these 6 reports you need to refer even from the original sources, not just from the newspapers. राइट, तो ये रिपोर्ट अगर आप न्यूज़पेपर में देखते हैं तो गो टू दैट वेबसाइट, राइट, इकोनॉमिक सर्वे, बजट वेबसाइट, आरबीआई वेबसाइट फॉर आरबीआई एनुअल रिपोर्ट, एंड ट्राई टू रीड फ्रॉम देयर बाय कॉम्प्लीमेंटिंग इट व्हाट एवर इज रिटन इन द न्यूज़पेपर्स, राइट. उसके बाद दिस इज समथिंग न्यू, राइट, which I would like to add to your list is magazines. So Capital Market, Business India, these two are some really good magazines. Magazines क्यों पढ़नी है? See, again, magazines will help you to understand the critical issues. It will help you to have good analysis in your mind with respect to policies and the regulations that are being made in the country. And once you have done that, once you have good understanding of critical issues, good analytical knowledge of policies and regulations that are being made in the country, you will be able to write very well answers, right? So use both these magazines. अच्छी हैं, ठीक है. Though in economics I would tell you some very good magazines as compared to this, but these are very old magazines. बहुत अच्छे से लिखा जाता है इनमें, हर टॉपिक अच्छे से एनालिसिस किया जाता है, जो भी इंपॉर्टेंट करंट अफेयर्स चल रहे होते हैं. सो दिस विल डेफिनेटली हेल्प यू इन हैविंग गुड अंडरस्टैंडिंग of the ecosystem related to finance. So that was about finance and management. Now let's come to ESI. So now in ESI you must realize that things are opposite what were there in FM. In FM 75% was roughly static and 25% was current. In ESI I would say 35% is static, right? Out of this 35%, say 8 to 10 in objective and rest 20 to 25 in descriptive, because you need some theoretical knowledge to write descriptive paper. So 35% is static in case of ESI and 65% is current. So equation has almost changed when it comes to ESI as compared to what was there in FM, right? So again हमें अब इस ऑब्जेक्टिव से इसको ध्यान में रखते हुए तैयारी करनी है कि current affairs are more important, whether from objective point of view, whether from descriptive point of view. In ESI also, in ESI descriptive, forget about objective, there would be some direct questions in the objective which would be based upon current affairs, but in descriptive also you will be able to write only you will be able to write well only if you have good command over current affairs related to your economics and social issues. तो चलिए देखते हैं अब स्टैटिक और करंट के लिए क्या क्या सोर्सेज हैं. In the static part, the good source or the best source that is available in the market, I would say, is Indian Economy by Ramesh Sharma. Sanjeev Verma की भी एक book है शायद, but I prefer this book, very standard book. Though it's a very bulky book, contains lot of irrelevant chapters that are not required for your preparation. I would suggest you to read only 5 chapters from this book: monetary policy, fiscal policy, growth and development, inflation, and balance of payments. If you can read these 5 chapters from this book, I think you would have done the justice to this book. Apart from that, the good thing about this book is this is a recent edition. There is a coverage of economic survey, coverage of budget in this book, and it also contains articles on burning issues at the end, such as effects of demonetization, effect of COVID-19, universal healthcare, universal banking. So some burning issues are discussed at the end of this book, which can stimulate your thinking. Right? तो वो जरूर कर लीजिएगा. Apart from reading those 5 chapters, it will be really beneficial to you. Then coming to social issues, again, social issues in static is not being asked much. At the max 1 or 2 questions in the objective part. Right. So इसको ज़्यादा नहीं पढ़ना है. This is a book by Ram Ahuja, Social Problems in India. सेलेक्टिवली पढ़ना जो आपके सिलेबस में है. मल्टीकल्चरलिज्म है, जेंडर इश्यूज है, हेल्थ एंड एजुकेशन है, ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट है. उन्हीं चीजों को पढ़ना इसमें से. राइट. एंड आई थिंक rather than reading from objective perspective, read it more from a descriptive perspective and you can give just a casual reading of this book. समझना है पर बहुत डीप डिग करके नहीं समझना है हर चीज को. ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड द पैरामीटर्स, ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड what constitutes say poverty, what is the meaning of multiculturalism. उसके बाद it would be like philosophical things that would be written there that you can understand very easily if you read it. ठीक है. तो बहुत जल्दी से पढ़ना है, सिर्फ रेलेवेंट चैप्टर्स ही पढ़ने हैं इस बुक में से, ज्यादा टाइम नहीं वेस्ट करना है क्योंकि ये बुक का फायदा हमें सिर्फ डिस्क्रिप्टिव आंसर की एक आउटलाइन बनाने में हेल्प कर सकता है, उससे ज्यादा नहीं. ठीक है. नाउ कमिंग टू द करंट पार्ट ऑफ ESI which is very very important, right? As in the way static part is important for finance, the current part is important for ESI. सबसे important source है आपका Press Information Bureau, PIB. Very important source and the best source to cover the current affairs because Press Information Bureau contains all the releases that are being done by the Indian government irrespective of which ministry it is. तो आपको एक जगह पे सब कुछ मिल जाता है. ठीक है. तो इसमें बहुत सारी मिनिस्ट्रीज हैं. You need to find relevant ministries, though most of them are relevant. For example, there is a topic called gender issues in your syllabus. So the ministry corresponding to that is Ministry of Women and Child Empowerment. Then there is a topic urbanization and migration. So for that, I think the ministry is Ministry of Urban Development. Then there is a topic called health and education. For that, there is Ayush Ministry, Ministry of Education. So like that, you can map the topics from your syllabus to the ministries corresponding to which the news you need to read. But there is one disclaimer: some of the ministries might not be directed to, might not be related to your syllabus. Ministry of Railways, Ministry of Roadways, right? But nonetheless, there is a topic called human development in your syllabus. So all these kind of contribute to human development, right? तो जो भी एक कॉमन मैन को इम्पैक्ट करती हैं कोई भी मिनिस्ट्रीज, तो उनको हमें फॉलो करना है. What we need not follow, for example, Ministry of Defense. अब डिफेंस आपके इकोनॉमिक्स के सिलेबस में टॉपिक नहीं है, सो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ डिफेंस काइंड ऑफ बिकम्स लेस इंपॉर्टेंट. Though they can ask, I'm not saying they will not ask, but it should be last on your priority list. Even you can leave here. I mean, that much risk you need to take. You can't read everything under the sun. ठीक है. तो इसको बहुत अच्छे से पढ़िए अगर आप सेल्फ प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं. दिस इज द बेस्ट सोर्स फॉर द करंट अफेयर्स. उसके बाद न्यूज़पेपर्स में आई वुड सजेस्ट हिंदू. Very good newspaper, very good language, authentic, very old, very accurate, very deep in their analysis. तो आप इसको करिए हिंदू को. ठीक है. एडिटोरियल जरूर पढ़िए और अगर आप सेल्फ प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं तो आपको सारा ही पढ़ना पड़ेगा क्योंकि बाकी न्यूज जो भी रिपोर्ट्स हैं, स्कीम्स हैं, जनरल न्यूज हैं, वो आपको हिंदू में से ही मिलेंगी. नाउ वन थिंग दैट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हेन वी से PIB is mainly going to cover the news which are released by the government. Any report, any scheme, any policy, any regulation which has been announced by the government will be visible here on PIB. But if there is any report released by NGO, which is not a government organization, right? Will it be available on PIB? The answer is no. For example, I think 2 years back there was a report released by Pratham NGO related to status of education in India. So it was asked in the exam and that was not available on PIB, but it would be available on Hindu. So this is for only things related to government organizations, right? For any non-government organizations related to India, it would be covered through Hindu only. Or maybe you can add 1 or 2 more newspapers like say Financial Express is for finance, or Economic Times, Times of India. Times of India is also not that bad, but this is the best. ठीक है. और अब हम आते हैं इंटरनेशनल रिपोर्ट्स जैसे आपकी होती हैं बाय वर्ल्ड बैंक, यूनिसेफ, WTO. ठीक है, उनकी जो रिपोर्ट्स आती हैं, विल दे बी अवेलेबल ऑन पीआईबी? अगेन नॉट, बिकॉज दोज आर इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस. I mean, that is not coming under the purview of government. So any reports or any policies introduced by international organizations, famous organizations, would be available in your newspaper, not on PIB. This shall be very clear to you, right? And any other report or any other policy or regulation introduced by international organization which is not a famous one, right? For example, once there was a report released by Credit Suisse. So I will not consider Credit Suisse to be a very important organization on the scale of, say, UN or UNICEF or World Bank, but still that was asked in the exam. तो वो भी मुझे हिंदू में ही मिलेगी, ठीक है. सो पीआईबी इज ओनली फॉर नेशनल reports, national policies, national regulations which are introduced by the government. Apart from that, everything shall be available in the newspaper. Okay, so this is clear. And apart from that, in ESI, I would say that these are the two really good magazines, The Economist and Economic and Political Weekly. This you must refer. और इसको एज इन मतलब कोई बुक या सिलेबस समझ के नहीं पढ़ना है. इन योर लेजर टाइम यू कैन रीड वन आर्टिकल, इट विल हार्डली टेक 10-12 minutes, right? So in your leisure time you can read these things. Magazines should not be taken as a burden on yourself कि ये भी पढ़नी है, ये नहीं हुई है. नहीं मिल रहा टाइम तो मत पढ़ो. जब टाइम मिला, लेजर टाइम है, we must read them. ठीक है, बहुत अच्छी है. Economist again something very accurate, very deep analysis. You would love enjoy reading it. And Economic and Political Weekly, I mean, I can vouch for it. This is one of the best thing available in the market. The best thing about Economic and Political Weekly is the diverse opinions. You will find articles in Economic and Political Weekly from, say, lecturers of local areas, some small towns, at the same time lecturers from Harvard. There would be political activists writing here. There would be Nobel laureates writing here. So you can see that diversity. There would be people from government organizations writing here. Then there would be people from NGOs writing here. So बहुत diverse opinion पढ़ने को मिलता है. एंड द क्वालिटी इज टू गुड. ठीक है, और आपके पॉलिटिकल और सोशल इश्यूज, इकोनॉमिक इश्यूज सारे एक जगह पे कवर हो जाते हैं. ठीक है, दैट इज द बेस्ट थिंग. इन इकोनॉमिस्ट मे बी दे वुड हैव लेस कवरेज ऑन सोशल इश्यूज, बट Economic and Political Weekly will have a lot of coverage on social issues also. Right? Is it clear? I hope I am making sense. I am giving you in detail analysis of the sources that I have experienced, say, over the last 5 years, and what I found to be good, what I found to be bad. Right. Now I come to descriptive English. Again, descriptive English is something which most of you ignore. Descriptive English, maybe if you see the essay topics, some of them are based on current affairs, or you can say that some of the essay topics can be written well if you integrate current affairs in them, and some of the essay topics are based on simple static things. For example, the Dowry system in India, art versus music, something like that, right? In which there is no scope of current affairs. So what are the sources for descriptive English to learn that current part, to learn that fodder? I would say whatever I have told you. Right, here you would read schemes and reports. Here you would have good analysis, good analytical knowledge about policies, regulations, what is happening in our country and over the world. That will give you enough fodder material as in form of current affair that you can integrate in an essay. You need not write, or you need not read anything else. Right, then coming to the static part, I do not know personally any good book on essays which cover some static topics, but these are the two books that I could find in the market. These are very average books. I would not say that these are good books, right? But still, something to read upon in your leisure time. As in, if you are reading some novel, you can pursue these books. The good thing about these books is that the topics are really diverse on which essays are given, say from science and technology to economics to social issues to finance. They have covered a lot of things here, right? But read them selectively and read them in your leisure time, just to have entertainment. Otherwise, these are not that good books that you must invest a lot of time in. So that was about the books, guys. I hope you found this session useful. In case you have any query, you can write us, you can email us at hello@edutab.co.in, and we will try to answer your queries. And please listen to this video carefully before asking a query, because sometimes what happens is people ask the same kind of queries which are already answered in the video. Thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.